one of the things we're constantly trying to do is have better total integration of position with the training I'm already doing. So here we have Jeff. He's always down to be tortured. What we're talking about today is, hey, what the heck's going on with the rotation of your forearms, of your elbows? Because one of the things that happens is that, for example, when we started doing pull-ups, everyone loves to do chin-ups, right? Because you're locked off mechanical. It's difficult to get it unranged, but we don't worry about that because my chin went over the bar. But pretty soon athletes adopt this position. It gives them more control, more options to create torque off the bar. The problem is we quickly lose the ability to have this dissociative range of motion at the elbow, particularly in some of these end range positions. So what we want to show you today is that if you're already doing curls, which you are, or you should be, if you're already climbing ropes, you may not be, but you could be, and if you're hanging from a pull-up bar, and you have a pull-up bar, this is the perfect place to be putting these things in. A long time ago, Greg Glassman famously said, hey, the number of chin-ups you should do should equal the number of pull-ups you can do. What we're seeing is, hey, we've lost the competency of having this rotation. So less about capacity, more about, do I still have fluency in all these shapes? One of the things that we like to do, Jeff, we pick up that bar out to the rings, is when we're doing curls, we love to take our athletes out near that ring. So if you have first ring or second ring, this bar only has one ring. But ultimately, look what I'm doing. I'm putting that shoulder into an externally rotated position, which is my kind of Tadasana, organized position. You can see the carrying angle in my lats. If I rotate that shoulder into an externally rotated position, this is my resting shape. And what ends up happening, and this was Pavel who put this on our radar early on, a long time ago, is that when I make Jeff do curls in this position, go ahead, keeps that shoulder back and comes all the way down and extends the elbow. In this position, with that elbow extended, he's forcing himself into this end range and maintaining this full supination, which is one of the languages that gets lost in being able to rotate and manage through space. So as a quick finisher, instead of just banging out a bunch of curls on your preacher curl machine, which allows you to get huge arms, but maybe takes away your options when you're pulling, move the hands out to the rings for some of your sets. Get a huge pump here, and what's happened is you already have the bar out, so some easy sets of 10 as a finisher just to make sure that you're getting this eccentric loading and keeping on the rotation the whole time. Now check this out. Put that down. One of my favorites for restoring in my more, we'll say advanced athletes who are ready for more torture, is that we love to do this legless rope climb lower or eccentric. So what I'm going to have to do is Jeff use his legs, even just jump up. And what we're going to try to do is see if he can just lower himself down. And what's interesting about the rope is that as soon as he tries to go on one arm to full overhead position, his elbow's going to come in, he's going to be in an organized position. He's really weak here, but stronger here. But in that grip shape, look at that fully externally rotated position, managing that, trying to hit this full end range flexion in this position. So jump up and see if you can let yourself down. He can use the other hand to modulate his pressure, right? He can go ahead and hug the rope with your legs, Jeff. L-sit, right? And I can even help him, and then lower yourself down, trying to get this arm straight. Oh, and you can see at the end he wants to rotate. Then go to full on that arm, all the way down on that arm. Oh, there we go. One more time. You see that lower down, lower down, lower down, lower down. And what we're doing there is through that heavy eccentric or tempo movement, forcing the rotation, we get a ton of work here. And the same thing, of course, can be done on the pull-up rack. And so when you're working on your strict pull-ups, which you should be doing, weighted or not, make sure you're keeping an eye on changing the variability of your grips. So watch. Jeff goes double overhand. Fantastic. Now go double underhand, can you? And you can see he's already struggling to get his pinkies on because this end range of flexion for the shoulder has to require some additional rotation. So you're seeing that full range of motion of the shoulder overhead isn't just flexion, go ahead and jump down, isn't just flexion, it's flexion and extra rotation. So if he doesn't have this full rotation, he's gonna always buy himself space and slack in capacity to solve a movement problem, which means he may be in a less effective position to pull and have fewer options. So understand what you're saying. Start by just adding the variability in some of these shapes to restore the rotation at your elbow. Because when we see hot elbow, when we see shoulders, this system gets super cooked particularly if I'm missing the rotation at the shoulder and don't have full rotation at the wrist. So instead of just taking your PVC pipe and going back and forth, think about adding in some of these restorative rotational movements in the work you're already doing.